What is up, guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. I hope you guys are having a great week so far, and welcome back to another episode of Tuesday Talks. So as per every single week, I update you guys on my life and give you guys a little bit more of an in-depth look to my day-to-day life, what things are going on in my daily life, and hopefully that gives you guys a little bit better of a perspective of who I am as a content creator, who I am as a person, and then hopefully that allows you guys to understand that I am just a human being just like you guys. I'm just going through life one step at a time and trying to become a better person one day at a time. So if you guys are new here, feel free to join along and get a little in-depth look at my life. As for this past week, I know I mentioned that I've been pretty stressed out with work in terms of finally getting more real life cases. And so I've been doing a lot more actual work, less training so much, and more real work. And that has definitely been ramping up this past week. So the same thing applies for this week as well. Lots of real cases, lots of training as well. So work has definitely been a very big mental factor for me this past week. I've been focusing on that a lot. Thankfully, my work kind of allows me to shut that off once I leave the office. So it is not carrying over too much stress when it comes to my weekends or to what I do after work, which typically revolves around the gym. So that has been a pretty good aspect for me this past week or so. And in terms of the gym, a lot of really good points that I want to kind of bring up is I am really focusing and I'm really dialed in on the gym currently. I know last week I mentioned that is one of the goals of my, I guess you could say, progress or my future, is to really focus back up on the gym and make that a priority, because in the end of the day, the gym has given me so many things that I am so thankful for, and getting back into the gym and focusing and making sure that that is a priority and setting goals for myself allows me to progress further as a person, or that's what I've noticed in the past. So a big goal of mine is to kind of enter a long period of getting stronger in the gym, focusing on my diet, and really pushing myself further than I've ever pushed myself in the past when it comes to my physique. So big changes are coming in the future, and stay tuned for that. I'm sure I will update you guys with a video of maybe a workout in the future, or if you guys are interested in more bodybuilding content, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'd be more than happy to make some content revolving around that. But like I said last week, I really am trying to dial it in when it comes to my diet, as well as training and pushing myself in the gym. That is something that I've kind of lacked on in the past week. Is the gym session has been a little lackluster. I haven't been as enthusiastic when it comes to working out recently. And so that has been a priority of mine recently, and it has gotten a little bit better. And then another big thing was not snacking as much. It is really hard to work in an office and stop yourself from snacking all the time, because you feel like you're kind of cooped up. You are sitting at a chair or going on walks, or you can get bored sometimes, especially since I am in training and work might be a little bit slower than it will be in the future. You can kind of find yourself snacking a little bit more than necessary, and that's definitely a flaw that I have noticed in myself. However, this past week I have gotten a lot better at it. In fact, the past 2 days so far, Monday and Tuesday when I'm filming this video, I haven't snacked at all at work. I've only been eating the foods that I actually buy, and that has been a very nice feeling, because when I come home after work, I know that I get to actually consume the foods that I'm spending money on, and I know that those are going to be working towards my goals when it comes to bodybuilding and the gym. So overall, it's just a win-win situation as of recently. And kind of transitioning into that, another big priority or another thing that I'm trying to get better at is my spending. So I know this whole channel is about bodybuilding and finance and just kind of mindset, but I struggle with things just like everyone else does. I have had a few small but definitely unnecessary purchases this month. Nothing that's gonna severely ruin my situation. However, it has made things a little bit tighter than they might normally be. And so that has kind of been a factor recently. I'm trying to hold back on that, make sure I'm only buying things at the grocery store that I absolutely need, and just making sure that I'm kind of keeping my budget on track. I think that's a big thing that a lot of people tend to mess up on, is they start buying little things here and there, start buying more snacks at the grocery store, start trying new things out, and all of a sudden these things stack up big time. And when it comes to the end of the month, you realize that you're missing $300 that you kind of needed to pay for your credit card bill or put in the savings account, and it's just not there. And so that's something that I'm trying to work on, especially now that I have my own apartment and I'm paying rent and all that stuff with my new job. I'm trying to get a sense of where I'm at when it comes to finances before I make any big or rash decisions that maybe favor me more in the immediate sense and not so much in the long-term sense. All right, and so before I end today's video, I know I kind of gave you guys a brief summary of what I've been doing this past week, what I've been focusing on, but another thing that I guess I've never really mentioned in any of my videos, or I'm realizing now that I haven't mentioned in my videos, is another hobby of mine that I've been enjoying recently. It's nothing super major, but it is something that kind of brings me a little bit more of material joy. It kind of allows me to focus on something that isn't so high stress all the time. I've noticed that a lot of my hobbies, a lot of my interests can kind of force myself into a higher stress situation, like making content or performing well at my job or being the absolute best in the gym and making sure I'm focused on a diet. These are all things that are a little more high stakes, I guess you could say, when it comes to my personality or what I actually value. And so one hobby that I've been doing recently is Pokemon card collecting, or kind of establishing a little bit of a personal collection just to give myself something to enjoy. It's something that I grew up playing, and I know everyone else has been kind of doing the same thing recently, but it is something that I really do enjoy. It's something that I think is really cool, and learning more about that has been a lot of fun recently as I'm getting back into it. But kind of associated with the money aspect of this past week, I went to a card show on Saturday, and I figured I would show you guys kind of what I picked up. It is kind of exciting for me because I think it's pretty cool, but I figured I would show you guys as well. So this is going to be the first thing. I don't know how well you guys can see that. The lighting's not too great, but it's a pretty cool card. It's a little more modern, and I really like the artwork on it, so super sick with that. And then I got this older card. This one's from 2002, I believe. You can kind of see the holographic on there. This one is really cool. There's only 120 of this exact card in existence, pretty much, at least at this grading and all that stuff. But I found that super cool. And the big one is this one. So if you don't know Pokemon at all, this is a super popular one. This one's actually in Japanese, so the back is a little different than like these ones. So, and this one's from 2000, so this card has existed longer than I've been alive. Same with that other one. Not to like show off or anything, my collection is certainly nothing to be like proud of, but I found it a lot of fun to kind of lower my stress this past week. And like I said, having all these hobbies that are so intensive, like working out as hard as I can and making content, trying to be perfect all the time, it can make you kind of feel like if you aren't being super productive, you are failing. And so collecting and kind of watching YouTube videos and learning about Pokemon cards has been a really nice way for me to not have such a high stakes mentality when it comes to everything in my life. So that has been a really nice kind of way to lower my stress, focus on things that I enjoy from my childhood or whatever. And it has been really nice. And I definitely recommend that you guys find something that you enjoy that is maybe a little bit less high stakes when it comes to your day-to-day life. Overall, that's going to kind of wrap it up for this entire video. I know it wasn't very long, but like I said, these videos are just to give you guys an update on my life, let you guys see a little bit more into my day-to-day and feel a little more like I'm a real person. I know it's kind of weird. This isn't a big channel or anything, but in the future, I hope that it does grow to be a big channel. And a big thing when it comes to building a community of people that are trying to be the best that they can every single day is I want to make sure that the people watching this video feel like they know me, feel like they can relate to me in some way, shape, or form. And I'm just here to remind you guys that I am just a person. I'm going through life one day at a time, just like you all. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button and tune in for future videos. There's new topics posted every single week, as well as these weekly updates. So stay tuned for more in the future. If you guys have any content ideas, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to make a video on anything that you guys are interested in. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to reach out and keep grinding, keep working hard towards your goals every single day, and make people remember your name. Peace out, guys. I'll see you in the next one.